this other student might feel empathy or sorry for the fetus. Maybe they have a lot of empathy for that, and maybe you have more empathy for perhaps the mother. Yeah, so there's a little bit of a divide there of like he feels compassion and empathy for this, you feel compassion and empathy for the on the other side of that. Is there I guess the resolve, how do we resolve that? Is it just to give the mother the option and then not to have the care or empathy for the fetus? I try to keep the conversations as respectful as possible, and I try to get down to the epistemology. Are you familiar with that term?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Epistemology is like the footings of what someone believes is true.
Oh, okay.
My sign, I've changed it like a dozen times already, but right now it still says I'm an alien, and I am, absolutely. It just got here, like a few hours ago.
Okay.
Just landed my spaceship. So I don't know anything about people. I don't know anything about Earth. Never been here before.
Oh.
Should I be woke?
I think it's a good thing to be woke. I think so.
Okay, what is woke? What does woke mean to you?
I think it means like being informed and like like staying informed with like relevant topics, regarding people, society, like the government, stuff like that.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing to be informed. I think it's a good thing to know about that.
I think I would agree with that. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about people and how they operate, but just landing down, I would say that being informed, because that, like, actually, you know what? Why is that important? Why is it important to be informed?
I mean, because we live here, you want to know what's going on, right? I mean, it's your first time here. You would want to know what all this is, right?
Yeah, I definitely, back on my home planet, I would want to know everything that's going on, because then I can kind of like make better decisions about what I should do. Is that kind of the reason? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. When you do hear the term woke, is there like specific topics that come to mind, or?
Yeah, I would think like politics and like human rights. I would say most specifically right now, just because there's a lot going on, I think that is being debated and talked about. So I think when you stay woke, you're kind of in the loop of it and just kind of know what's going on. And then I guess through that's when you would like voice your opinion about it.
Okay. Okay. So with regards to these topics, you said like human rights and politics. Is there one that stands out, like as something specific that is like ultra important to you?
I mean, as a woman, I would say like, women's rights right now, like reproductive rights, abortion and stuff like that. But I would say as a whole, like for everybody, I would say like mainly right now, like the topics of like I don't want to, drop the bomb, but like racism and, stuff like that would just affect more of a demographic of people rather than just, me as a woman. Does that make sense? Like
Maybe like woman is a pretty big demographic.
absolutely. But I think like I feel that like when we talk about race and stuff like that, I feel like maybe it might be considered more serious than a woman's rights, which sucks because obviously I wouldn't want it to be that way. But I feel like as of right now, I feel like that.
So that's kind of a topic that you think that seems more important to you?
I mean, like, it seems like it's more important to the people. I mean, like, as a woman, the woman reproductive rights is more important to me, but just like that we have a lot of men in the government, like, I feel like the women's reproductive rights isn't as important to them because they don't understand.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
We got racism as a potential topic. We got women's rights as a potential topic. I'll let you choose which one you want to talk about.
Um, I mean, I think that I could probably vouch for women's rights more than I could vouch for racism, so I guess we could talk about women's rights, yeah.
Sure, let's do that. So when you said women's rights, I think you're talking about reproduction.
Mhm.
So I think you mentioned abortion.
Yes.
Okay. Tell me more about that. What are those things? I'm an alien, never been here.
So abortion is where like a woman is pregnant and either she can't safely, give birth to the baby or anything like that to have any sort of medical reason to no longer carry the baby. So it's a medical procedure to take the baby out basically.
Okay. And your stance would be that she should have the ability to remove that uh, fetus from the pregnant woman. Okay. Is it only if it's like a medical emergency where there's like danger, or is it any circumstance?
I think that it can really be any circumstance just because I think one of the main ones is medically, making sure that the mother is healthy. But there's a lot of situations where people just can't take care of that baby anymore or like just aren't financially stable or, wouldn't find a good home for them. Things like that, just like other factors that would also contribute to maybe having an abortion. So I think overall that's why it should be the woman's choice just because there's so many different things that could fall into that and that would be best for what she thinks for herself and also the child.
Gotcha. Is is there ever a reason that this woman might have that would be invalid, or like she shouldn't choose to have the abortion for that reason?
You said like invalid, like you think that there wouldn't be a good reason to get rid of it
Yeah,
or
I'm asking you, like, is there a reason that could be not a good reason? Yeah.
I mean, that's really subjective. Because something that I think is wrong, you could think is right. So, like my stance on that is that, whether you're choosing to have it or not is really up to that woman. And I think that's what our issue is that as of right now it's not or it's not fully up to her. And I think, with the women's rights and even human rights overall, you should have the choice to that.
Okay.
You should be able to make that final decision.
So it's if there was a value that you could assign to this, what I'm hearing is the value is like freedom,
Yeah.
the freedom to okay.
Well, I mean, where we are right here, like they call it the land of the free, and we have a lot of um patriotism in being a free country and allowing people to do what they want. And, even though we have structure in the government to, keep everything together and organized, it seems like recently it's become a little bit out of hand and it seems more controlling to smaller demographics of people.
Okay. Okay, there's some control.
Mhm.
Um okay. We got freedom, human rights, ability to choose. I'm in a I'm an alien,
Mhm.
just landed here. But I have been talking to people all day,
Yeah.
and maybe there was a student earlier who was talking about abortion, and they were making, like, let's say, the argument that a woman there's some reasons that might not be good reasons to have an abortion,
Okay.
like maybe the reason is just like they don't want to be
Have the
pregnant.
conversation? What is the conversation about?
Right now, we are talking about abortion and women's rights.
Okay.
That's what we're talking about. Feel free to join.
Yeah, if you'd like.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'll just have you listen in a little bit, and then you can join in. Where was I?
You were talking about you think like not so strong reasons.
Oh, yeah. Like, let's say there was another student who thought that there was reasons that a woman might have to get an abortion that they would be like, I don't think that should be a good reason. Like, maybe they think that if someone just wants to have an abortion just because, like, they don't want a child, like,
Right.
just that being one of the reasons. And it's like, I, w- why would you be correct and they be incorrect with that?
Well, like I said before, I think it's really subjective, because when you take away the ability of an abortion overall, then you bring in the factors of like, like the mother suffering, the baby suffering, anything like that. So, having a good or like a right or a wrong reason is really up to whoever decides to talk about it.
Yeah.
But when you take away the option overall, that's where things get complicated.
Okay. This might be a strange question, but I'm an alien, so I've never been here before, so I don't know humans, but it kind of maybe sounds like these other students might feel empathy or sorry for the fetus. Maybe they have a lot of fetus, yeah, empathy for that, and maybe you have more empathy for perhaps the mother.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a like a divide there of like he feels compassion and empathy for this. You feel compassion and empathy for the on the other side of that. Is there? I guess. I guess the resolve. How do you? How do we resolve that? Is it just to give the mother the option and then not to have the care or empathy for the fetus?
Well, I mean, again, this is a very like you know, uh, sensitive topic, and it's really up to the people involved, the mother and the child and whoever else is involved in it. I don't personally have any experience with it, so it's hard for me to speak about it, but I think that it's good overall that people are still being empathetic, for wanting to be like, "Oh, this baby could have a great life or this mother could have a great life." Stuff like that where I think that it's good that we're still kind of trying to incorporate that in this argument. So, I wouldn't say that anyone who is like, I guess, trying to say that, you know, they're empathetic for the child, I wouldn't say that they were wrong. It's just, everyone again, like, it's subjective. Everyone else has a different view on it. And I'm glad that, as a society, we can still feel those things.
Okay, I'm gonna jump back to you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I just got here, alien. Been here talking to students a little while. I don't know anything about people, but you were listening into the conversation. What are your thoughts so far?
Um, I think I don't know, I feel like it's a very like, to say it's always right or it's always wrong is a very strong thing to say, and I think it depends very strongly on the circumstances.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So would you say that your stance on abortion or um women's rights is like nuanced? Like sometimes maybe they should have like I guess I don't want to frame it in that way. I guess what is your stance on that?
Um, I don't really know, somewhat neutral. I think the choice is good, but also it doesn't mean, like, it's always the best option.
Okay.
But, like, having the choice available is also a good thing.
Okay. If it's on the ballot and you're voting, I hear humans vote. I don't know, but it's on the ballot and you can either choose yes, there should be the choice, or no, there should not be the choice. Which one do you go with?
Probably yes.
Okay, probably yes. If there was a more nuanced option where there was like a third option, and it was like yes in certain circumstances, but no in certain circumstances, would you opt for that one?
Um, maybe.
What would those circumstances be?
I don't know, I can't think of anything specific off the top of my head.
Okay. Could you think of anything to help her out?
Like a neutral ground?
Yeah, like not necessarily neutral, but like I would use the word nuanced. Like maybe if the mother's life is at risk, then she could have an abortion. But if there wasn't any underlying medical issues, that then perhaps that wouldn't be allowed, or maybe like it's allowed up to X number of weeks, but then after X number of weeks, that's no longer an option.
I'd say both of what you mentioned are valid
I was gonna say, I feel like you kind of came up with some yourself.
Those are some pretty.
I may have, yeah.
You're catching on fast.
You get it.
What are your thoughts on that? What do you think?
Like what I would vote?
Yeah, of those 3 options.
I think I would still vote yes to have the option, just because, like I previously mentioned, I think that a lot more factors rather than just the medical part of it do play into it. Like I think, like financial and like family stability and stuff like that also really plays a factor into whether that child is going to have a great upbringing or not. You know what I mean? I mean, like on your home planet, did you have a really big spaceship and really nice food and stuff like that, or whatever you eat? I mean, but yeah.
Yeah, we prefer bugs.
Right.
Yeah.
So you had really nice bugs and you ate bugs every night. So do you think that like people here, what if they can't provide the bugs
Mm.
for the kid? Then
Yeah.
then do you think that would be fair to the kid?
Yeah, that might be not good. You're right.
Yeah. So I think that still voting for the option rather than the kind of middle ground area is what I would stand for more, just because I feel like there's more factors to it just than, the mother's health and the child's health.
Okay.
I think we're
Gotcha.
gonna pop out because I need to get back to my dorm for my next class. But
No
thanks-
worries.
Thanks for having.
Yeah, thanks for stopping
I
by.
unfortunately also think I'm going to pop out. I need to head back and study, but thank you for having me.
Care if I ask you one last question?
Absolutely.
I'll make it quick. If there's an extreme example, let's say somebody from my planet and they have all the resources in the world, they're actually like a really famous person who's got a lot of money, and the reason for wanting an abortion is just that they can provide for the child and everything, but they're just like, well, it might have some impacts on my body. Would you think that would be okay?
I mean, I think for that, since I, wouldn't be able to speak for them, I'll stay pretty, out of it, just because, again, like I said, it's pretty subjective whether you decide to have one or not, because that is the decision to make. And so, I think like if they were Eva Bug on you, I think that if they did have like financially all of the, the resources and the stability to care for a child, I think that if they wanted to, they could. If they think that they're not ready yet, then that's a decision that they would have to make. But if there's no option, to like not have that child, like if they're not given the option, like they have to carry the child, then I fear that, things might not go as smoothly as intended, even though they are like financially stable and stuff like that. So I think, again, like what I kind of was saying earlier, I think it's really just subjective. I think it's up to people, and I think that's why it matters to have the choice.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate you stopping by.
Of course.
Yeah, I'll let you go. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.